Well, here we are, and I got 3 Zippos in a box, and I have 1 Zippo not in a box. I'm gonna have to figure this out. Like right there is my shot, and has the date. This one's an older one. It's a 2000 Harley Davidson Zippo. And then I have here, these are 2015. You can see the date. Oops, let me see. 2015, and the H is the month. But it has 15 over here and H as the month. Brand new. Still in the box. Well, they're brand new, but they're not brand new. And then I have another one. Let me see if I can get the lid on this. Got another one. This one's called the Black Ice. And it's a beauty, a real beauty. This one I used for a little while, as you can see. This one's a 2011. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. This one's a 2011, and it has a L over here. So 2011, and an L for the month, and it's like A is January, B is February. And then this one, this is another 2015, brand new in the box. Has the sticker, and it also, I guess it was made the same as the other one. So it's a 2011, and it's a H, I think, if I can recall. Yeah, 2015 and a H. And what I wanted to do, why I was digging these out, is I wanted to make a Zippo case. So I got that molded, and then I don't have the back part yet. I got to buy some more leather, but it'll fit like that. And then on the back, on the back of it, I'm gonna put a belt loop on it, and it'll slide in and out. I'll put a snap, and when I do the snap, this is all water or wet molded. I'm gonna line this, so I'll put the snap, and then I'll line this so that the snap doesn't hit the lighter. You know, when you pull it in and out, it'll scratch the surface. So I'll line that, and then I'll have a fold over that'll fold over and snap on that. So that's what I was doing, and that's why I was digging out the Zippo. I needed one to wet mold to, and I used this one here. This is old. I think I showed this one already. It's a 2000, and it has a X, Roman numerals, and it's also a H. So I think that's August is the H. Not sure exactly. You can figure it out, A, B, C, D, E. And then when I was in there, I found these really cool. This is a Jon-E. Here we go. This is old. This is from the 60s. I don't know if you can see that. It's a Jon-E hand warmer. and you fill it with lighter fluid, and then you fire it up. And I thought, man, what a perfect thing to have out here in the cold. I'm always working out in the cold out here. This is a Japanese one. It has a little pouch. After you get them lit up, you put them in the pouch, and it kind of makes it burn slower because it has less oxygen, but you also won't burn yourself with it, which I find interesting. But I've used them back in the day when I was hunting. I used them, and I got them when I was a little kid, and it was something my dad, he had a bunch of them. And this one's from made in Japan. It's called a Peterson, and it's a peacock. Can you see the peacock design? There's a peacock right here, the feathers. And on the back, it says made in Japan with another peacock. And I'll fire this one up for everyone. Fill it, show how it works. I thought that was interesting. Then when I was in there digging it up, this is the knife that a little guy, he was a little guy, but he was strong, don't get me wrong, he was a warrior, and he was my guide in the jungle of Ghana, West Africa. And he had made this, and we were walking around, he was guiding me, and he made this pouch. It even has, I don't know what leather this is. It could be dog, it could be an exotic, it could be goat. I have no idea what the leather is, but he made this. And he even made the blade. And yesterday, it's not like our knives that we have where they don't rust. This one was rusty, and it's been in my drawer for, I don't know, 25, 30 years, something like that. I went over there in 87, and I haven't looked at it in 2.5 decades easy. I mean, it's beautiful, handcrafted. I know there's wood under here. I don't know what type of wood, but I find it like just mesmerizing. I could look at it for hours, but I cleaned the rust off of it. I'm going to keep it oiled. It's just a beautiful knife given to me by a native Ghanaian in the jungle of West Africa in 1987. Just beautiful, and I found that. And then while I was messing around with all this, my daughter brings a bracelet out. It looked like it had some kind of wax on it, on the front of it, all over the lettering. I got it all off. I scrubbed it up. It still snaps. You can tell it was for a little kid. And I made it for my daughter when she was probably 5. She just turned 40, so this is 35 years old. It got left in a box, it was in a box, and when her and the husband split up, he took the box and set it outside, and it got snowed on and rained on. She finally got the box, and it was all hard, real hard, and it had these bad grooves in it. I've worked it out a little bit, but you can see these grooves. I think you can see it kind of like right here. Well, it had them all in the back and really bad. And I took some saddle soap and scrubbed it real good. I was worried about taking the paint off of it because that's all painted. I painted the roses, and her name is Christy Rose, and my wife is Vicky Rose. So I put roses because she's a rose. And this was made a good 35 years ago, and this is probably one of the last things I made before I focused my attention on raising my family instead of doing leather. And here recently, I think it's almost coming up on a year now, when I started back into leather crafting. It's just a hobby. I don't really want a job. I know a lot of people, they give me all kinds of ideas, things to make and make money. And I probably could make money, a lot of money, but it's just a hobby. I don't really want to turn it into something that, that turns into a job where I'm out here cranking out bracelets or lighter cases, a million of them. And I've been making these other lighter cases. This is a basket weave pattern. I put a key ring on it. It's all hand sewn, hand tooled. Basket weave takes a long time. Each one of these little designs is a stamp. So you stamp it, and then you have to line it up and stamp it, and you make a basket weave design. So after I cut this out, like say this is it right here, say this part of it is the lighter case, I would trace a line and then carve the line and then stamp that line down, making a picture frame around it. Put the basket weave in, and I would stamp one side down, making the frame. Put a line across and then follow that line and start putting the basket weave. When I get done, then I put the border. It's called a sunburst. Then I have something that I should share with you. This one, I started making a tablet cover. I'll bring it all out here. Let's see here. So I started making a tablet sleeve for a tablet that BZ gave me. I want to thank BZ. Okay, BZ sent me a beautiful tablet. It's huge. It's a big one. It's perfect because I can see what I'm doing. It's a Galaxy. I think it's like 12-inch. And the first sleeve I made was this one for it. Let me put this back. But while I'm tooling and cutting leather, I listen to videos or watch videos as I'm tooling. And so this is the first sleeve, and I made it. I measured it out perfect to fit the tablet, and it's all lined. The inside I lined, and then the back side was American flag. I like flags. I'm like a flag geek. But that's all hand tooled, carved, hand tooled. I mean, I do trace the flag on there, but it's just a blank flag. And you trace the lines, and then you carve the lines, and then you tool everything. It didn't have the stars. I had to buy a stamp for the stars. Each star is stamped individually. And I try to make it 3D. I put an eagle. And the same thing with the eagle. You trace it out on there, and then you have to carve it and tool it so that it looks like 3D. And I put the eagle. This one has, I think it's a moon behind it. I could have left that out, but I wanted it to match, so I put it on both sides. And I try to make it 3D. I don't know if you can tell, but I stamped, there you go. You can see where I stamped where the flag would be waving. And all of it is all stamped in there, the background, all of it, all hand carved and tooled. When I made this, I measured it out to fit very snug on the tablet. And when I put it in there, the tablet would go in about halfway, but then I had to force it. I didn't force it very far, and I realized that if I got it in there, I would never get it out. So I thought, okay, I gotta make another one. So this one is available. It'll fit an iPad 11 Pro, 11-inch tablet. It will fit an 11-inch tablet or less, but the biggest that you could get into it is 11-inch, all lined, hand stitched, totally hand stitched. Everything is hand done. It's cut out of a big piece of leather. Like what I start with is a whole side. I start off with a whole side of leather, a big roll of leather, thick leather. And then I trace out the size of the tablet that I want, and I cut everything out like that. Everything is cut out. It's not, cut already, and the you know the sewing, the little holes for the sewing, that's not in it. I put everything by hand, and this one has 4 little holes, so you go around, try to stay in a straight line. It's not that easy, but that's how I do. Now this one, I made another one that'll fit my tablet, and this is pigskin, and it's real thin. I don't know if you can see that. Real thin. And this is just for lining. And I lined this other one I'm making. So I started again, and this time my favorite pattern is the roses. I don't know if you can see that. Very good. And all hand tooled. And I love doing that. It has the sunburst around the window that I made, or the framing it. And then I'm going to weave, or what do you call it, lace it. I'm gonna lace it. I don't know if I could show this, but I'm gonna lace, instead of sewing this one, I'm gonna lace it, all laced. And I came to a problem with this one, and it's got the pigskin on the back, and I'm gonna lace this. It's kind of hard to get in there, but this one's gonna be laced. Okay, so then the basket weave. This is basket weave, all basket weave. Now, each one of these little basket weave stamps, it's little. This is huge. It is hard, very, very hard to get the lines straight. It's so easy to go off a little teeny bit. Say you're starting down here somewhere, and then by the time you get up here, you're off a little. And then by the time you get way over here, you're way off, and the whole thing is all wavy. And this one I did pretty good. I haven't really basket weaved anything big since probably 1981. And I think I did pretty good for taking a long break and not doing anything. And I started off little with the lighter case. You can see how I started off really little with the lighter case, keeping it straight, and then I did a few of these, I think 4, and then I tackled this. And the same thing and what I came to is a problem. Okay, so the tablet is going to open up, and the tablet will go in here. But what I came to, when you're lacing, you lace one all the way around and then you end it. Well, I never split. Like, I'm going to lace up this, right? I'll lace up this together, but then I have to split right here where the opening is. So I have to split. Well, there's no instructions on how to split. Nobody knows. I've asked around. I went to the leather store and asked around. Like, how do I tie these two runs of lace into one and then go down this way, leaving this open for the tablet? So I'm still wrestling with that. I have no idea. And that's the roses again. And then I'll show you. This is the other side of this is the tablet, the one that I'm making another tablet, but only sleeve, but it's not really going to be a sleeve, it's going to be a case. And what it'll do is it'll open up. This is going to be the front cover, and I don't have anything on the back yet. But this will be the front cover, and what it's going to do, the tablet's going to sit on it, and it's going to close like a book with the front and the back. And what it'll do is when I open it up, I can flip the tablet out, and then I can stand the tablet up like that at that angle about, let's see here, let me move out a little bit. So I'll stand it up, and then, I'll be able to prop it up kind of like a kickstand, like, like the tablet covers that you guys see and use. But I'm going to make it, and that's what I want to do, but I'm working on a Santa belt, and in order to build this thing, it's going to take hours and hours and hours to build this, and I don't have time to do that. I have so many projects to do, and some people are paying for, so I'm going to work on that. Okay, so I thought I would show you guys what I was doing and what I'm working on, and I know a lot of people are interested in this kind of stuff a lot, and I know some people don't even care, but I don't know how many are know about these things. I bought a little bit, let's see, I found this buck outside. What a trip, huh? Even a buck. I don't know if you guys know this, but the buck knives, they have a number, like this is the model number. I think it's a 284. I can't tell, I can't read it. And then it has a little arrow next to it, and that tells the year. This is a 2008 buck knife, made in China. I thought they were all made in USA, but there is some made in China. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Oh, and then now that I'm on knives, it has a nice little pop. I love that. Then I wanted to thank BZ. Gave me the tablet, and then also this knife. I love this knife, BZ. Thank you so much. This is my everyday carry right now. I carry it everywhere. But thank you, BZ, for the tablet and everything. You're too generous, too kind. But I thought I would show you that. Okay, so I'm freezing out here. You see the gloves. I'm not sure if this will work. I'm just gonna put a little bit in here and see if it works. Now, once you fill these up, I think this one will burn and heat up for 12 hours. Okay, so I'm gonna let it soak in a little bit. You put the little cap back on it. Oh, it has some writing on there. Let's see. I can't read it. Maybe if I get it close to this. on that. There's some writing. Maybe I'll be able to read it when I take this in. It says Peacock, made in Japan. I guess I can read it. But once you fill that up, you light that. I guess it's not going to light. Maybe I should put a little bit on that. Let's see here. I've been making all kinds of cool stuff. I've been enjoying the heck out of it. Let me put a little bit on here. Gotta straighten it up. Okay, that's good. Start the flame. Okay, there we go. Playing with fire. If you play with fire, you get burned. And what happens is that little filament, it's kind of like a Zippo lighter, kind of like. But it gets nice and hot. Then you put this on it. And you blow it out. Now what happens is that little filament in there starts to heat up. It starts to, like a little buddy camp heater. I don't think it is. I don't think so. Maybe I should let it go a little longer. Yeah, you know, so I'm sitting out here and I seen these. I'm like, oh man, these things are like 45 or 50 years old. You can get them on eBay for, I don't know, 20 bucks. Even the old ones, 20 bucks. Easy. But it starts to heat that. I think you can see it right there. It's starting to do that right now. See how it's starting to glow? And that'll glow. It'll, sooner or later, it'll get glowing hot. I can already feel the warmth. It's starting to work right now. And I'll just set this on here. So once this gets going real good, man, it feels good. Oh, shoot. Once this gets going, you put it in the little pouch and you can put your hands on it and warm your hands up. Oh man, it's working good. Wow, okay. Now this will burn, even that little bit of fluid I put in it, that's gonna burn for probably about 3 or 4 hours. I probably should not put it in there yet. Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah. I don't think I put enough fluid in it. But no, it's heating. I don't want to touch it. The whole thing is warm. How do you like that? But anyways, that's what I'm up to. And I was going to take some pictures. Wow. I don't want to take my hands off of that. It feels so good. I'm going to set it on there. But, you know, when we go deer hunting and camping and stuff like that, I would get these lit up, and then I would put it in my sleeping bag. I put it in a little case and throw it down on the bottom of the sleeping bag, and it would get where my toes go. It would warm it all up. Oh yeah, it's warming up really nice. Yes. That is so, I would say cool, but it's not cool. It's warm. Yeah. So, man. So this is called a Jon-E. That's what this one is. This is really old. It's probably older than the Peacock. And it has a different kind of system. This one has a wick. And you take this off, and you do the same thing. You fill it up with lighter fluid. But instead of lighting how I lit the top part up here, you light the wick. And the wick will burn until that starts to glow. And then you put the lid on it. And you put it in your bag. And some of them, these Jon-E ones, it'll have a bigger hole right here on each side, and it's for sticking your cigarette. You can light a cigarette with it. You can tell this is old. It's pretty beat up. I mean, I've used this thing for years, but it's been probably 20 years since I even seen them. But I used them for years, and then they got thrown in the drawer, and I haven't seen them for at least 20 something years. When we lived up in the hills, I used them a lot. Let's see how this one's doing. Maybe it's not. Oh yeah. Cool. It's not glowing though, but it's still warm. Interesting. It's been so long. Huh. Oh well. I'll leave it out of the bag. Maybe it'll work better.